Hi, today would be the first tutorial on Unity 2D, how to track and move an object. Um, just to give a little bit background, I've been working on Unity for about half a year. I was successful in make a 2D game. It's called Dum Dino. I know the game is so stupid. It's just a very simple game that you move a dinosaur left and right. Um, and through the process, I fell in love with Unity. So I decided to make a new game, a more complex game. The only problem is that Unity doesn't have a lot of tutorial online. Uh, just for something very simple, you would have think, drag or move an object should be available everywhere online. But I was having a very hard time looking for it. So after I spent, a week or so trying to figure out how to do it, I would like to share it with you guys. Um, so Alright, enough of talking. Let me get right into it. I'd like to talk about the logic of tracking an object. Let's look in the picture here. Uh, we have an object, let's say it's a box, and we have the center. I would call the coordinate of this would be x1, y1, and z1. Okay, let's call the green dot here is where you first touch on the object or click on an object if using a mouse. So I would call the coordinate of this would be A1, B1, and C1. So when I would drag the mouse, when I'm touching it, it would go to the new location, which call A2, B2, and C2. The problem is that you don't want your new object, which should appear at the new mouse position. uh, you want it to move relative to the mouse so that you have a smooth feeling of dragging it. So in order to do that, what we know is that from the center of the original object and the finger position, the distance here, we can have a vector. We call it offset. So when we move it, just offset should stay constant. So the math is quite easy. I would have, let's see, my offset vector would be equal mouse position minus object position. Okay, so this is just the basic of it. In Unity, it's very easy for you to grab your mouse position anytime. And if you know what the offset is, you can always calculate the new object position where it's supposed to be. Okay, so now let's jump right into coding. So here on the screen, I just create a new project. Very simple. I assume that you guys know some of the basic of Unity already. If not, please go to Unity website. They have a lot of tutorial up there. You guys can learn the layout and where you're supposed to put stuff. So the scene is empty. So first of all, in here I would create a sprite. I see I don't have it. I was gonna grab a sprite, drop it here. Make sure it's a sprite. True color. Apply. Okay. Now the sprite is set. You just move it and drop it to the scene. And it's good habit, you only try to save a scene somewhere in case Unity crash, you don't lose everything. I would call it Tutorial1. Touch to track. Okay. Alright, for this to work, first you have to change the camera setting. You want it to orthographic. Okay, so now you want to create a script that would store the original position of the object. So go to script, create C script. I would call it position setting. Okay, so this is a very simple script. It will just, as soon at the game start, it will initialize and record the object original position. Okay, open mono develop. So I wrote a script already, so I'm just gonna copy and paste, save you guys some time. Me typing. So we create two variable, one transform, one vector 3 to store the object position. So when the script run, we want it to call whatever the transform and the position of the object that is attached to. That's it, very simple. Save it. Okay, now I'm going to drag it to our platform. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, now just go to camera. So now we have to create a script that would retrieve the position of this platform when the mouse clicks on it. So I would put in camera. You can put it almost everywhere. I like to put in camera. I'll call it drag object. Where is it? Okay. So first I create a couple of variables to work with. So I try to make the name easy to understand. So game object to drag. So later on we would initialize to set that to become the game object that we're trying to drag. And this is how we would retrieve the setting of the game object. Remember earlier we created a script called position setting. So now we created a blank variable to retrieve the setting later on. And we also would use a boolean that would tell us are we in tracking mode or not. Vector. Next, we would create a bunch of 3D vector. So you would have offset, v3 target, touch word position, drag object, regional. So let's go back to our picture real quick. Let me explain it. So here, this red dot here would be drag object original position. You want to store this. And second, here would be touch word position. I will explain it later on why we call it touch word position. And this blue line would be the vector, is the offset between those two. And this new dot would be the v3 target. Sorry, this new red dot, v3 target, where we want to move our box to. Okay, let's go back to the coding, and hopefully you guys would understand it better as I type it out. Next, it's a new concept, Raycast hit. I'm not very good at explaining this Raycast hit, but Unity did a pretty good job on explaining it. Just go to their website and type in Raycast hit, or look up YouTube. There's a quick tutorial explain it. Pretty much, it's how it works. So you have this is your game screen. So when you click on the screen, you can create, I guess, a casting. As mentioned, casting a laser. This laser will hit your object, and that's how Unity would know, hey, someone click on this object. And that's when it's gonna start activate the code. Hey, what do we do after someone click on this object? Okay, and but let's keep going. So we don't have to initialize anything. First, I have a habit of try to create mouse, how the mouse would work first, because it's easier for me to debug, and after that I would go to how to do touching. So first, let's set it up so it only work in Unity editor. So for retrieve input from the mouse, you would call if input gets mouse button down 0. This frame will be called on the very first click that you click on, on your mouse. When you click it, you want to convert that click into a raycast, like I said earlier, a laser line. Imagine it go through the screen. So like you see, it retrieve the mouse position and convert into a ray. And here, say if that laser line hit any collider, if you say not 2D collider, for this code, if you want to work with 2D collider, you have to modify a little bit. You have to use physics 2D instead of physics. I tried physics 2D before. I don't like it. It's not at advanced at physics. So I decide to use a 3D collider instead of 2D, even though it's gonna be a 2D game. I've been doing a little bit of research, and people say it doesn't really matter. So I would recommend you to use 3D collider first. So in order for that code to work, we have to give this platform a 3D collider. So let's add component to this platform. Physics, I should add a box collider. Yep, make sure. Yeah, let's cover. Okay. Okay, so what happened if you click on the mouse and this mouse register that collider? Uh, so when that happened, so when you type of this code, you see hit here. We identified earlier, this would store the object information where the laser, the ray would hit the collider. So first we would retrieve that game object. So game object that we did. And if you remember earlier, we write the script to store the object position setting here. So let's type it out. So the position set would store the object position setting. To be honest, for this demonstration, you don't really need this setting because you can always call out the original position setting from just using hit. But this was the setup I used for my other game, and I think it's useful when you can retrieve certain code from the object. But anyway, let's move on. So remember the vector what we create earlier. So now we would initialize it. That would to store the object original position. Now we would retrieve the touch, the click coordinate of the mouse. And here you see screen toward position. Let me try to explain real quick. In Unity, there are two sort of coordinate. It's called, one is word coordinate. If you look in your scene editor right now, you see the object right here, all the position of the object. Here you see 0, 0, 0. That is the center of the word position. Okay, so 0, 0, 0 is right at the center. But when you touch a click on the screen, when it returns, it doesn't give you the word coordinate, it gives you a screen coordinate. In the screen coordinate right here at the bottom left of the screen would be 0, 0 here. You see, and it gives you a pixel coordinate. So let's say the screen, let's say 500 by 1000, right? So if you click on the bottom right of the top right of the screen here, you would get a coordinate of 1500 and whatever z. So the z, when you retrieve from the click, it's pretty much just the camera position. So now when you do that, you have to somehow convert it back to word position to work with uh, Unity easier. So that's how you do it. You would call screen to word position, you create a new vector. In this vector, you put in the mouse position, the X, Y, and Z. Pretty simple. Okay, after you get the touch position, you know the original position of the object. So now you have to figure out what is the offset between the touch and the original object position. Simple. Uh, so when I was working on this code, I write a couple of ways, to debug. So these are a couple of the way I would debug this. So I would call out the mouse position. It would give you the position of the mouse click on the screen position, and after that it will always give you the mouse click now but on word position, and you also can see the camera position. You don't really need this, but it doesn't hurt to have. And you would have the game object original position. So a little bit confusing now, but when we run through this, I'm sure you guys will feel a little bit better. Tracking. So once your mouse select the object, you want to turn on the tracking mode. Okay, nothing fancy. I apologize, English is not my first language, and I have a heavy accent, and I'm a little bit sick, so it's kind of hard to hear, but bear with me here. Later on I would upload the code so you guys can just copy and paste and play around with it. Okay, so let's close this loop. So like I mentioned earlier, get my button down is only activate on the first click of your mouse, and after that when you drag or move your mouse, it does not take any more information. It does not activate anymore. So we have to use different function. This would activate every frame when you're holding on your left mouse. Input gets mouse button. Okay, so we say okay if tracking mode is on. What do we do? Same thing earlier. First, now we have to retrieve. What am I doing? Okay. So the first line here is, you guys saw this earlier. You retrieve the click position of the mouse. So go back here. This would be the second green dot. This is where your mouse go from the first position and you move it to the second position. So that would be the second. And to figure out, hey, where this new red dot's supposed to be, where the new object's supposed to be, all you need to do to get this position, you minus the vector offset, and you would get this red dot. Would be the way I call v3 target. Okay. And for debugging, I would put here v3 target, so you guys can read it later. So once you get that new position, you just say, okay, now move my object to that position. If you see it here, we have move object to v3 target x and y, but we used object original z. It's because this the target y target Z here, pretty much gonna be the camera screen. We don't care about it. Since it's gonna be a 2D game, the Z direction of your object will stay the same. So we use the object original Z. Okay. And sorry. Let's close it out. And next, if the mouse release, you just turn off the dragging. Okay, pretty simple. Let's save it. Let's see, we have any bug. What an error. What the heck? What did I do wrong? Okay. Maybe I forget this. Let's build it again. Okay, I forgot. So if you are not familiar, if Unity editor, we just tell you that this code only work in the Unity editor. That's it. Alright, let's go back here. Main camera, you have to drag object on, platform candy, you have a script on, you have box collider. Make sure this is 3D collider, not 2D. This code will not work with 2D. Okay, click play. Click. Oh, fancy. Okay. So now we get the mouse to work. Now you say, okay, what the next step? We come here for touching, not using the mouse. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Touching is pretty much the same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna copy and paste this. This is a setup for when you do touching. So here for it touch, you're gonna see which phase is that touch at. So when you have touch phase begin, which is the first touch, it's similar with when your mouse register. So I'll go ahead and copy this. See, okay, alright. If you don't know what I just did, I just cleaned up the code. You can do that too, very easy. You can go edit, format, format document. I set up at the shortcut Control I. Just clean up the code. Okay, move it here. Okay, so this is pretty much the same exact code we use for the mouse, except we don't want the input to the mouse position. We want it to be touch. So how do we do that? We would have input touch. Did I do it right? Oh, I think I messed it up. Hold on, let me look it up real quick here. Okay, sorry about that. Uh, so instead of mouse position, we just call out touch position. Come on, why don't we? Same here. Change this real quick. Touch position instead of just mouse position. Oh, let me copy and paste you. Touch, touch, touch. Okay. Anywhere else? All right. So on the touch phase begin, when you first, put your finger down and register an object, it will set up in pretty much the same thing. So when you move your mouse, when you move your finger, same thing, copy and paste this. Here you see dragging mostly on. Okay, I'm gonna clean up the code again. Oh, I hate this spacing. Too much space. Okay, pretty much the same thing. You just need to go in and remove mouse position into touch position. Ta-da! 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 That's it. Okay. And the end drag mode for. Okay. So that's it. It's pretty easy, huh? Let's hope it works. I apologize. I don't have a camera to show my phone here. I have a phone hooked up, so I'm just gonna do it. Oh, jeez! Look at this red thing. What is going on? Oh. Okay, it's telling me it doesn't take the Z direction from touch. Well, we don't care much about Z anyway, so just make it 0. Make it 0. Because this is a 2D game, so I guess you don't have the Z direction. Save that and see if it would work. F7. Build success. Okay, let's go back to this. Play this. Okay, so here now we will test it on our phone. So go ahead and click play. I assume you guys already know how to hook it up with your phone. If not, there are a ton of tutorials out there. Okay. See right now you can see thing moving without using my mouse. I'm actually using my finger, touching it and dragging it right now. I can show you the screen of my phone, but Yeah, but go ahead with the code and then try it. I promise that it worked. Okay, so I hope you guys learned something out of this. Uh, and just a quick tips. So if you want to drag an object and you want to restrict it, like let's say you only want to drag it horizontal, you don't want the user to move anything vertical at all, you can edit your script very easy. Here go to drag object. Let's open the script again. Uh, so you see the target position. So instead of saying, hey, give me a y coordinate new position, we just say, nope, I want to use the object original y position, which making the object pretty much can move on the y direction. Save it. Where do I want to save it? Oh, okay. What the heck? Okay. Uh, Apparently I have two instance of drag object. I'm an idiot. What am I doing? Okay, let me put the script back. Oh shit. Let me delete it instant. Okay. Hope I didn't break anything. Oh, okay. Let me move it again. Let the grip in. Okay. See? Now the thing is restrict to only X position. Okay. Alright, I hope you guys learned something out of this. If you have any way to improve this code, let me know. Thanks for watching.